Good morning, boys and girls. Today is morning math, and we're just going to do a mixed review of fractions today. So we've been talking about fractions of a whole and fractions equivalent to 1. We're going to look at some shapes, and we've also been looking at what 1 equals. So we know that one of these shapes has 2 parts, and so our denominator is going to be 2. We're looking at both of them together. They're 4 parts shaded, so this would be 4 over 2. My question is, what whole number is equal to the fraction 4 over 2? 4 over 2, we haven't talked about this a lot, is 4 halves, and you can write it different ways. You could say 4 halves. You could say 4 over 2. You could say 4 halves this way. You can write it this way. So there's many ways that you can write it and say it. All right, so looking at this, I'm going to say 4 over 2. I'm going to think of this line as a division line. This is like a division line. So I can take 4 and I can divide it by 2. So I already know if I count by 2 times, I get 4. So that's one way I could think of it. Or I could think repeated subtraction because it's division. 4 minus 2 is 2, and then if I take away another 2, that equals 0, so I took 2 2's away. So I know that 4 divided by 2 equals 2. Can you see that okay? Hopefully you can see the problem okay. So my whole number, 4 divided by 2, would equal 2. And as you can see, there are 2 wholes here, 2 wholes. What fraction number is equal to the fraction 6 over 1? We haven't talked about over 1 a lot. 6 over 1. So I see that there are 6 circles, all shaded. All of them are completely shaded. They are not divided. They're just 6 circles. So there are 6 holes over 1 hole. So that would be like 6 divided by 1. How many times can 1 go into 6? Let me move my camera a little bit. How many times can 1 go into 6? So 6 divided by 1, I can do repeated subtraction. I could do 6 take away 1 is 5. 5 take away 1 is 4. 4 take away 1 is 3. 3 take away 1 is 2. 2 take away 1 is 1. 1 take away 1 is 0. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or I could draw one big circle and put 6 dots in it. That's another way I could solve it. Partitioning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So anytime a number is over 1, it's just going to equal the number that's up on the top. It's going to be a whole number. So 6 over 1 just equals, 6 equals 6. Okay, going on. I said we weren't going to start talking about equivalent fractions yet, but I feel like we need to get into comparing fractions. So I've drawn 2 number lines here. I need to place 1/3 on the top number line. I've divided it into 1, 2, 3 sections. So there are 2 lines. So if I was to write this out, I would write in my 1/3, 2/3, and then 1 is equal to 3/3. The same thing here. I'm going to do the same for 2/6. Hopefully you can see that okay. 2/6. So I would have 1/6 because I'm dividing it into 6. 2/6. 3/6. 4/6. 5/6. So hard to say that. And 6/6. Okay, so I can see here that 1/3 and 2/6 are equal. They are equal to one another. So I can actually, the way that you'll understand this when you are in 4th grade is I can take 2/6. If I divide the top and the bottom number by 2, 2 divided by 2, 2 goes into 2 one time, 2 goes into 6 3 times. If I divide them by the same number, I would get 1/3. So these are equivalent or equal. 1/3 and 2/6 are the same. We're going to do the same thing down here on this number line, and then you're just going to do a review problem today, and we're going to keep going on with comparing fractions tomorrow. 2/4. So I need to divide this number line. I purposefully divided this one, but not this one, because I want you to see that you need to make sure you divide your number line correctly so you can line up those numbers and compare. So this is going to be divided into 4 sections, so I need to make 3 lines. 1, 2, 3. This is going to be divided into 8 sections, so my lines are going to go in between and on the line here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See how the second one lines up? These line up and these line up. So now I'm going to put my fourths on this top number line. So as we know, it starts with 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 1 is equivalent to 4/4. All right, so now down here I'm going to label my eighths. 1/8, 2/8. Oh, we already see something here, don't we? 3/8. 4/8. Didn't leave myself enough space. 5/8. 6/8. 7/8. And this is going to be 8/8. Oh, goodness gracious. It's hard for me to write down here. 8/8. Okay. Sorry, that's a little sloppy there. 2/4 is right here. It's actually equivalent to, it's at the same line. Let's see, 1/4. This is 2/8. 1/4 and 2/8 are equivalent. 2/4 and 4/8 are equivalent. So right here, I would have to use a greater than, less than, or equal to sign. So I notice 2/4 is here, while 2/8 is here. So 2/4 is greater than 2/8. So this is when it gets a little tricky. We've already talked about this when we made our fraction strips and we were starting to compare fractions, that the larger the number on the bottom, the more pieces you have. Remember when we looked at our fraction circles and our fraction bars and the fraction rods? So even though this looks larger, it's going to have more pieces. So for eighths, so fourths are definitely going to be larger. This 2/4 is going to be larger. It's like 4/8. So this 2/4 is greater than 2/8. And you can draw pictures as well. You don't have to do a number line. So my last problem, write the fraction 3/2 where it belongs on this number line. So I've already written the number line out for you. I want you to show me where 3/2 would go. Explain how you know where you put 3/2. You can write it 3/2 for 3/2. You could say 3/2 as well. So go ahead and label it on the number line and post this below or in our portfolio so I can see your answer. I love that some of you have been answering these and doing such a great job. Don't forget to explain your answer. How do you know to put 3/2 here, here, here? Explain that to me. All right, boys and girls, have a wonderful Wednesday, and I hope you're doing really well and learning something new and having a wonderful week. I'll talk to you soon. All right, see you tomorrow for art. Don't forget to come tomorrow. It's going to be really fun art for Easter. All right, bye-bye.